All right, so let's move on. While I'm introducing the tool, I think you should be able to get it installed. If we go to the Get Started page on the wiki, so first to get started, you should have an Appimation project, an Appimation account to work with the tool. So to create an account, first let's just create our test asset space, so test directory. So everyone just go to the to your terminal window, and anywhere where you want, just create a directory. I'll create a directory called Appimation Workshop, and let's go to that directory. All right. Okay, it's an empty space. It's all right. Now I would recommend to go to your IDE. The IDE I recommended is so text editor I recommended is Visual Studio Code. So let's open it up. Start by opening just a new folder, and the one that we just created. So basically, I should go to my home directory, and there it is for me, Appimation Workshop. Open it up. That's an empty space. And what's good in Visual Studio Code, I can use the terminal from the window. Right, but you still should be able to use it from the iTerm, right? You can write Appimation. So if you have installed it, you should be able to through Brew. You should be able to use it right away. If you installed it through by downloading binary, you could go to the directory that you downloaded it to, and you can call it by // if you're on Unix machines, and by typing the binary name. All right, but I have it in my path, so I will proceed, and I'll check if I have the latest version. The latest version, as we saw it on the Chrome, on the releases web page. Okay. Right there is 33. That's the latest version. Bless you. So yeah, to see overall what options do we have from Appimation CLI client is by typing Appimation -H. So we have the available commands that we have is deploy, generate, help, import, invite, restore, run, user, and worker. So if you don't have an account, and that's the case for all of us, let's imagine that this morning, we'll be using the user command. So it's also written from the get started page right there. So you can see that to create a new account, we should use Appimation user, create subcommand. Then with email flag, we will set our email, and with project flag, we'll set the project name. I will continue all the further work from the Visual Studio Code. So I invite you to do the same. Those who don't use VSC, just use terminal or whatever other terminal windows. So Appimation user, then we should use create, like I said, then email, and again, first name divided by dot, last name at appimation.com. And we need the project name. I'll call your project whatever you like. I will call mine, again, Appimation Workshop. So you should have a command, something like this, of course, with your email. And now it asks for your password. So give it your password. Retype. And voila, we have our first project template files right there generated for us. We have a CLI client token, so we don't have to log in anymore or give our credentials to the CLI client. So if you delete this client token, it will just ask you again for your credentials, and it will be generated for you once again. So this is how CLI client also knows where the home directory for all of your test files is. Let's return to the wiki and just go ahead and see what we have to do next. So this is a restore if you already have an account, have a project, and it's not the community version, but the version for enterprises who have also this deploy command, which means you can back up all your test asset files to our cloud service. And then if you even don't have the files stored on Git, you can restore them from the cloud. So we don't need that. Let's proceed. And this is just the introduction on how things work. So the smallest test asset part in our tests will be test step. So in these tests, we will have steps right there. So step definitions, where we define all the request data, like URL, method, body, and so on. Assertions and the grabs. In cases, we will have the actual scenario where we collect all the steps in sequence, and it's our basic test scenario. So we will go through that a little bit later. So this is just a quick introduction of the structure. So to create these test assets, we have a generate command on the CLI client. So again, if we type automation generates -h, we will see that we have available subcommands, which is case, environment, set, and step. So about steps and cases, I already told you about. Set is basically a set of cases. So you can generate a set and then stack all the cases, and they will run sequentially if you run the set command. And you also have, as a user, an environment test asset file, which hold your environment or global variables that you can use and across test cases, across test steps, and so on. All right, so this is one option. The other option is, of course, create them by hand, just by creating a YAML file, and in the wiki you will have the explanations that you need to actually build test asset files. So it usually looks something like this. This is again a simple template of a step. Your first field is just saying what type of test asset it is. All right, so then you have the name. The collection is basically like the feature name where the step belongs to. Then you have all the request fields, like I told you before. If you want to see more detailed, you can click on the advanced documentation page, and you'll see the detailed explanations on every field that you can use in the test asset.